What's up YouTube, Day here from wargames, and as widely requested, here is an updated Vendread deck profile. So, Vendread is a new TCG exclusive, which of course got its first release out in Code of the Duelist in the last set. It has now received more support in Circuit Break, such as Vendread Chimera, which, as you can see the artwork with the camera focuses properly, is pretty disgusting, but also very badass. So what I've done is I've updated the deck profile as requested by you guys, and what we're going to do is we're going to go straight through it. So, we play double Vendread Chimera. Now, double Vendread Chimera, the reason we only play two is it's really good, but you don't really want to be seeing it as often as Vendread Slayer. So, Chimera, you can ritual summon this card with any Vendread ritual spell. When a card or effect is activated that would destroy a card on the field, quick effect, you can banish one zombie monster from your graveyard and negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. If this card is tributed or banished for a ritual summon, all monsters your opponent controls use 500 attack and defense. You can only use each effect of Chimera once per turn. So its effect is really, really cool, but it's quite costly. You need to make sure you've got those zombies in graveyard for the banish, which 9 times out of 10 you do, and you kind of play it this way. I will mention this now before I go any further, this is a pure zombie build. So yes, you can play the Lightsworn engine in this as well, you can also play the Brilliant Fusion engine in this as well, but like every other zombie build you want, the goal of this one was to keep it as zombie orientated as possible, keeping to its kind of art type of Spawn and Resident Evil, while also trying to keep it to the 40 card limit. Next up we play triple Vendread Slayer. I really do hope this gets an OTS like super reprint because I think it deserves it. The artwork is pretty badass, the character itself is also pretty badass, and the effect is also really, really good. Next up we play triple Shiranui Solitaire, which is a little bit easier to get thanks to the reprints in the Megatins. Triple Uni-Zombie, again, these are pretty much staples in zombie decks nowadays. Triple Mizuki, again, another staple zombie. And then we play, finishing off, we play with a double Gozuki. Now onto the Vendreads, we play double Streaks, which is the brand new one. This is the new card that came out in Circuit Break. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can reveal one Vendread card in your hand, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. A Vendread monster ritual summoned using this card on the field gains the following effect. You can only use each effect, each of the preceding effects of Vendread strings once per turn. After damage calculation, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can draw one card, then discard one card. So obviously that helps you deck thin a little bit, plus fill up your graves with the cards you need. We then play double Vendread Revenants, and then double Vendread Hound Horde. Again, really, really cool cards. The reasons we're only playing twos of at the moment is because they can get slightly bricky. They're not as consistent as the standard zombie engine yet, until we get maybe a little bit more support for them. But obviously they're still very, very good, very, very strong, and very, very useful in the deck as a whole, which is why you kind of want to keep it at the ratios that it is now, basically. Wrapping it up, we play the one Shiranui Spirit Master. This is kind of just your outs to what you need it to. We do play the Shiranui style Swallow Slash because I think it's a great card, and that is one of the first ones you'll banish from your deck as well, and then the Revival with Solitaire helps. And the one Shiranui Spectral Sword, because again, Revival with Solitaire, plus it helps get you into stuff like Crystal Wing, Archfiend, Zombie Skull, and then a couple of other level rank 6s or level 6s as well. Finishing it off as well is because its strongest hand trapped in the game is the one Max C. Of course, you kind of have to play that now, just with the way the meta is, especially when you're going up against stuff like Spirals, who likes to special summon for days. So that's it for the monster lineup. Now on to the spell lineup. So for the spells, we play triple Vendread Origin. This is your ritual spell. This gets you out both your Vendread cards as well. Triple Pre-Prep of Rites to search out both your Vendread monsters and, of course, the Vendread spell. Triple Law of Darkness, because the trap card lets you revive your banished zombies as well. It's a really, really nice draw engine in the deck because you're banishing some of your zombie stuff, and because you can spit out Omega in this deck quite easy as well, the banishing isn't as big of an issue. And like I said, the new trap card Vendread Reunion helps you with those banished Vendreads, which is really, really important. Double Burial from a Different Dimension, because Mizuki isn't once per turn. It's not hard once per turn, which is absolutely stupid. So now the fact we've got this at 2 as well, if you open up with one of these and you have the ability to do your Mizuki plays, if you have multiple Mizukis engraved, happy days. Banish 3, do your Malarkeys, whatever, go into Link Monster, activate this, bring them all back, do the whole thing again, and you just circle around and around and around. So 2 I definitely would play. And then we're playing double Vendread Knights. Now you can play this at 3, you can even put Terraforms if you want. The only issue with this is it's not as... We already have cards that are discarding for us. The artwork I think is stunning, which is why part of the reason I put it in there. But you discard 1 card, add 1 Vendread monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Vendread Knights once per turn. When your Vendread monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can banish 1 Vendread monster from your graveyard. You can attack an opponent's monster again in a row. So the reason I play 2 is it's very situational. Now, the discard and add in a Vendread is really, really cool and very, very consistent. But obviously we've got pre-prepper rights to kind of help us do that as well. But then also the banish effect and then attack with the Vendread is more trying to keep it consistently with the art type itself. You don't have to play this card in there, but like I said, I've tried to focus and get every bit of the Vendreads in there. The traps, it's a double Shiranui Swallow Slash, it's so strong. The fact you just tribute 1 zombie type monster, then target 2 cards on the field, destroy them, and then banish a Shiranui monster from your deck. It basically gives you 3 pops if you get rid of Spirit Master, or you get a revival if you get rid of Solitaire. So very, very helpful. And then double Vendread Reunion. Now the sad thing is, Vendread Origin, the secret that we got in the last set, I think is worse than this. I think this should have been a secret in itself. But the reason we're not playing Origin right now, or Re-Origin, is because it's not needed in the deck as of yet. It's good, but the clause on it where you can't special summon monsters if you control the token, except Vendread, kind of locks you down a little bit. So here's Vendread Origin, and basically what it does is you target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls that has a level, tribute it, and if you do special summon 1 Vendread token, 0 attack and 0 defense with a level equal to the tributed monster's original level. While the token special summoned by this effect is on the field, you cannot normal summon or special summon monsters except Vendreads. So it'll work amazing, like a lot more consistently in a pure Vendread build, but because we're keeping it zombie orientated and we're still mixing with the zombies until we get more support in maybe upcoming sets like Extreme Forces and that, I choose not to use it personally. Anyway, Vendread Reunion. Reveal 1 Vendread ritual monster in your hand, special summon any number of your banished Vendread monsters with different names in face-down defense position whose total levels exactly equal the level of the revealed ritual monster. So you can get a level 5 or a level 6. Tribute all those face-down defense position monsters, then ritual summon that ritual monster from your hand. You must be able to ritual summon to activate and resolve this effect. So, our Vendreads we have are 6, a 5, and I believe it's a 4, a 3, and a 2. So there's our 3, there's our 4, and there's our 2. So obviously, if you've got these 2 banished, you're going for your Chimera. If you've got these 2 banished, you're going for your Revendread Slayer. So because they have to equal exactly, that's why you kind of play it that way. So that is it for the deck lineup. It is a 42 card deck. There are 2 cards that need to be cut, to be totally honest with you. You can side out Maxi if you wish. That could be an option for you. But it is that important, to be fair, in this day and age, that you kind of can't afford to do that, unfortunately. Anyway, now let's get on to the extra deck for you guys. I've gone with more of a synchro focus, but we still obviously play Links and XYZs as well. So we'll start off with the XYZs, we'll get them done and dusted out of the way because we only play 2 of those. And that's Minerva, the Exalted Lightsworn, obviously probably a bit more effective in the Lightsworn engine as well, but actually still very, very good for the mills. And a Tornado Dragon. Now, Tornado Dragon is still very, very important to deal with back rows and stuff like that. Especially if we're going first against Spirals. If you have the ability to make 2 Ogres, pitch them down to 3 cards and then 4 when they draw 1, and then a Tornado Dragon to deal with their field spell, you slow them down quite a lot already. Our Link monsters that we play is the 1 Proxy Dragon, the 1 Deco Talker, and then just because we can is the 1 Borreload Dragon. Now, I think Borreload Dragon is absolutely awesome. I love the artwork, I think it's amazing, and the effect is really cool as well. So it's 3 plus effect monsters, so that's the difficult part, but it's not as hard to do in zombies because you can flood the board quite easily. Neither player can target this card with monster effects. Once per turn, quick effect, you can target 1 face-up monster on the field, it loses 500 attack and defense. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this effect's activation. At the start of the damage step, if this card attacks an opponent's monster, you can place that opponent's monster in a zone this card points to, and take control of it, but send it to the graveyard during the end phase. So, stuff like Bills of Diabolical Dragon, you can drop it down to 2500, attack it, deal it 500, it then gains that 500 tap back, and then you take control of it and put in the link marker, attack with the Bills, and then at the end phase it gets sent to the graveyard. So Bills isn't as big of an issue to deal with. Now onto the synchros. We play the 1 Vermilion Dragon Mech. You don't have to play this card, I just quite like it. It's quite nice to be made and easily made with obviously Unizombie and a couple of other cards as well. And then banishing the tuners, which you're going to be able to get back with return from different burial from a different dimension and stuff like that, is really, really important. The 1 Bills of Diabolical Dragons, because it is incredibly strong and powerful in this game still, and some decks still trouble to get around it without a Kaiju. The 1 Crystal Wing can be made with the Shiranui Solitaire, not Solitaire, sorry, not Spirit Master either, what's its name? Shiranui Spectral Sword. Oh, I'll get there eventually. Brain melt. I then played double Omega because you can spit Omega out in this deck so easily, so consistently. It's incredibly, incredibly strong. Shiranui Shogun Saga again. Spectral Sword. And then just general zombie synchros as well. Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend to nuke the boards along with Black Rose Dragon. And then we go with the Coral Dragon for that extra draw, plus the tuner that can again help you get into Crystal Wing. And then the Archfiend Zombie Skull that can only be made by Spectral Sword. But it's still very, very good and very, very strong because zombie monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. There's a couple of little techs that I like to play in this deck. Stuff like Zombie World can be massively, massively helpful, especially under Unizombie's effect. Plus it can stop your opponent with Dracos in their tracks. And kind of stuff like that. But that is it for the Vendread deck profile. I hope this kind of gives you an idea to work around it, build it up, give it a go, trial it out yourself. I really, really enjoy it. It's not that expensive to build in the sense of getting the Vendread stuff. Even though it's a TCG exclusive, what you've got to be wary of now is if Konami go and pull out some amazing BS, like as soon as OCG get this, if OCG go, there we go, let's give it a ritual monster that can do this, 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 and this, which is absolutely amazing, like Double Helix, and like Guru that they got for Subterrors, and Beatrice, and stuff like that, this deck would be well worth picking up. Anyway, don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up, like it, subscribe to our channel if you're not already done so, to keep up to date with all these deck profiles and stuff we do. Share it with your friends, let them know about it. Obviously, we're here to help you guys out. Obviously, if you see any suggestions, we're more than happy to check them out. And then if there's any decks that you guys would like to see, by all means let us know in the comments below. We will do it. It will take us some time because we are trying to catch up with all the new stuff that's come out with Circuit Break, and then we've still got other bits and bobs that we want to put together, but we will get it up there eventually for you. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time guys, as always, happy dueling. If you like that video, why not check out our other videos available. We've got more deck profiles, pack openings, and of course duels. And don't forget to click on the most important button of all, that subscribe button, right in the bottom left hand corner.